In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who appeared to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I further bear witness that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the Vicar of Christ, and I will go even further to bear witness that the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the Vicar of Christ in our midst. He is our teacher, warner, and divine guider. Islam. It is in those three names I would like to greet you all in the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum. I would like to give the most high honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Islam family. I want to thank Brother Harub and Sister Tina for the opportunity just to share a few encouraging words with the family tonight. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here. That's right. So I just thank Allah for that opportunity. Just to read a script from the Holy Quran of the Moorish American Science Temple. It states that, well, the prophet states that man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have full opened out, will have unfolded in the holy breath. The garb of soul will then have served its purpose as well, and man will need it nevermore. And it will pass and be no more, and man will then attain unto the blessedness and perfectness and be at one with Allah. That's right. So in the spirit of the prophet, I greet you all, Islam. We know that Allah God appeared in the person of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We know that he came to resurrect a dead people, such as ourselves, that has been dumbed down, that has been considered not even human. That's right. That's right. By our open enemy. That's right. But it's because of the love that he had for his people that he came after us. In the Holy Quran, it says that we are patterned after Allah God. That we take on his coloring. That's right. In order to be patterned after the maker, you have to be tailor-made, fit, and that pattern has to be cut to a T, to after which it is patterned after. That's right. Now, in the Bible, it says that we are created in the image and likeness of Allah God. So we're taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that when we look in the face of every black man and every black woman, we're looking in the face of God. That's right. Islam. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for the unity, the love that is being shown here today. That's right. I want to thank you all just for the willingness to come together as one in unity. Islam. That's right. And when I think about unity, it makes me think about sacrifice. Makes me think about love. It makes me think about the book of Esther. All right. And for those who are familiar with the book of Esther in the Holy Bible, we know that Esther was chosen by the king to be the queen after Queen Vishnu was disobedient to her husband, the king. That's right. Make it plain. And he didn't want it to appear that if she was disrespectful to him and didn't want to obey what he had to say, then every other woman in the palace would get that same idea and would disrespect their husband. Right. So he had to set order in place. And because he chose Esther, because of her beauty, she became queen. Now Esther had an uncle, Mordecai, yes, who raised Esther as his own. And when Esther became queen, she began to gain favor with the king. And because there was I'll say a servant that was up under the king named Haman, because Mordecai would not bow and honor Haman, Haman became enraged. And he told the king that Mordecai, or the Jews, did things their own way. They didn't worship in the way other people worship. Right. They didn't do things that other people did. Right. And they were all to themselves. Right. So the king allowed Haman's plan to go through as far as a decree for him to do what he will with the Jews. Yes. And so he decreed to kill the Jews. And because Mordecai heard what happened and reached out to Esther, and I'm paraphrasing, but sent a message to Esther, because you're in the king's palace now, because you're in a position right now that you can go to your husband. You have access to the king now. So you can go to your husband on our behalf to save your nation. And because Esther was a little new at what she had access to, she became a little nervous. And she sent the message back to Mordecai to let him know, look, I can't just go before the king. I have to be summoned. Mordecai had to remind her where she came from. And he had to let her know, for the hour such as this is what you was placed in the palace for. To save your people. Because if you don't, right, Allah God will raise up somebody else to save your people. But for you and your people, you will perish. So Esther sent the message back to Mordecai to pray and fast for her for 3 days. Right. And she will go before the king. And if she perish, then she perish. That's right. Now that's sacrifice. Right. Indeed. But because of the cry of the people, Mordecai and the rest of the Jews, for those 3 days, Allah heard the cry of his people. And on the 3rd day, Esther put on her royal garments. And it's something about the chosen ones of Allah God. When we put on our royal garments, when we go on a fast before Allah God, it's something about reaching and touching the heart of Allah God. Right. Prayers get answered. Right. Things begin to manifest for us as a people. Right. Because we know that nothing happens without Allah's permission. Right. And we know that prayer and fasting changes things. And the Holy Quran say, be it according to our faith. So Esther went to the king on faith. She sacrificed her life. She didn't know whether she was going to make it out or not. Right. But because she had enough faith in Allah God. That if he take her life, it was still for a cause. And it was for our people. Now, how many of us are willing to sacrifice our lives for our brothers and sisters? How many of us are willing to give up our life? Give up a bowl of soup? How many of us are willing to turn down our plates for our people? How many of us are willing to lay on our face before Allah God for our people? When Esther put on her royal garments, she didn't just put on garments on the outside to make herself look good. Because see, sometimes we have to go into our spiritual and mental closet and check out our wardrobe to see what type of garments we're wearing. When I look at some of our people, we're wearing the garment of stress. We're wearing the garment of depression. We're wearing the garment of defeat. Why are we wearing the devil's garments when Allah God has patterned us after his own self? Why are we wearing the garments of victory? Why are we wearing the garments of blessed? Why are we wearing the garments that we were chosen to wear? The garments of a God. The garments that allow us to walk to and fro, that has given us dominion and power in the earth.
That's right.
When Allah God asked Adam, where are you in the garden? He wasn't asking Adam where was he because he didn't know where he was. He was asking, where are you, because you're not in your position. What is your position today, brothers and sisters? Are we in the position that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali left the instructions for us to be in? Are we in the position of uprightness? Are we in the position to resurrect our dead people? Are we in the position that we can carry the heavy load up the uphill road? Are we in a position that we can join hand in hand and take over the land? Are we in a position right now where we can build schools, hospitals, farmlands? What is our position? Where are we today? Are we willing to do the work that was left behind for us to do? What position are we in today? Are we willing to give up our lives for the cause? Are we willing to do what Esther did? And if we perish, we perish? What are we willing to give up and sacrifice today? Or are we willing to just put on garments so that we can look good on the outside, but we still have devil on the inside? We still have hatred, envy, jealousy for our brother and sister that we see every day. What is our position? Brothers and sisters, the words say that we need to work while it is yet day, because when night cometh, no man can work. So are we willing to do the work that it takes to get the job done? What are we willing to sacrifice? What are we willing to give up? We know that there is Hamans in the land.
That's right.
But will we allow Haman to stop us? Because when you continue to read the scripture, Haman got hung in his own guillotine.
That's right.
And his head was chopped off.
That's right.
Don't we have that same power? Don't we have that same dominion? Don't we have that same authority to chop the head off of Haman? Let's take our rightful place in the kingdom. And let's do what needs to be done to raise up our people. Let's do what needs to be done to resurrect our people.
Right.
We are a blessed people.
Yes, we are.
We are a powerful people.
That's right.
We are a bold people. The prophet already said that we don't die.
That's right. That's right.
So why are we afraid to sacrifice and give up our life if we don't die?
That's right.
If we're created in the image and likeness of Allah God, then who can stop us?
That's right.
If Allah God be for us, then who can be against us?
That's right. That's right.
The only people that's stopping us is ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
Now, are you going to continue to stand in your own way? Or are you going to move self out the way so that I can see Allah in you? What are we going to do today, family?
Good question.
As we celebrate the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthright. The blueprint is already there for us.
That's right.
So what are we going to do with it?
That's right. Good question. Talk to him.
Are we going to wait and die out and let the younger generation take over? Or are we going to do what needs to be done today? We can't serve two masters.
That's right. You gotta love one and hate the other.
You definitely
That's right.
have to love one and hate the other.
That's right.
So tonight, I thank you for listening,
Thank you.
and I greet you with the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah.